In this video, I'm going to be breaking down how we can make 2025 the best trading year yet. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Alright guys, so how are we going to make sure that 2025 is a profitable trading year? This is how I'm personally going to be doing it, and this is the full plan and things that I'm going to start implementing in order to make 2025 a great year in the markets. So before we head into the new year, one thing I'll be doing is I'll be reflecting on 2024 by implementing a few different processes to review the year and to review my overall trading performance. So the first one is actually just backtesting the year. I only trade two pairs, so what I'll be doing is I'll be using FX Replay. You can use FX Replay if you want, or you can use just TradingView bar replay, but I'll be rewinding price action to the beginning of the year and simply just going through all of the year's price action, placing trades as if I were going to in the live market. Some of the trades I may remember that I've already taken, but the point of this is basically just to go through, review your overall trading performance this year. Maybe there were some trades that you missed and you want to review why you missed them. Maybe there were some unnecessary losses that were caused by you not following your trading plan and rules. So just overall, go back through the year's price action, backtest it, see what you could have done better, see which trades went well for you, which ones didn't. The next thing that I'm going to do, following on from this, is you guys know I have a MyFX book track record, so this very nicely tracks all of my statistics for me. So I will be going back through all of this data in my FX book, and I'll be summarizing it in a Google Doc. So I'll be looking at my average win rate for each pair, what was my longest losing streak this year, what trade took me off that losing streak, and just etc. So going through all of these sort of statistics, seeing where my trading strategy could be improved. So for example, if my data shows that on Mondays I nearly always lose the trade, then maybe going into the new year, that's one thing I could start implementing, and maybe just erase Mondays from my trading. But the point being, if you guys don't know your data and you don't know any of the statistics on your strategy, then it's very unlikely you're going to be able to improve going into the new year, because you don't know what is wrong in the first place. So what we have to do, and what I encourage you guys to do going into the new year, is even if you don't have my FX book to track your stats, just go back through all of your trading data, identify some common patterns, some common things that are going wrong, and just try to implement some steps which are going to help you obviously eradicate those problems and improve heading into the new year. One other thing I'll be doing as well is going back over any of the trading goals and other life goals that I had at the beginning of the year. Were they achieved? Were they not achieved? And if not, why not? So this sort of thing, just overall go back through and reflect on how your year went. And if it didn't go too well, just reflect on it and sort of do the necessary introspection to uncover the reason as to why. So people think that success in trading or anything in life comes from these huge steps that you take. And obviously these huge steps and strides are important, but they're not the main thing. If you speak to anybody that is operating at a high level, or is a profitable trader, or has 6-7 figures in revenue from their business, or prop firm payouts, whatever it may be, ask all of them and they will tell you that the most important thing is what you do on a day-to-day basis. You don't just suddenly get to the end result that you want by taking one huge step, but rather it comes from doing the small things over and over again on a daily and weekly basis. So doing these small incremental improvements every single day is very quickly going to add up. I always speak about the compound effect. So if you guys aren't familiar with the compound effect, it's essentially this phenomenon that happens over time, whereby at the beginning you see very slow and linear growth, but over time this growth becomes parabolic as the wins compound on each other. The easiest analogy you can think of when it comes to the compound effect is if you are investing in the S&P 500 at an average annual gain of 8%. At the very start, you're going to see very small growth in your capital, but after several decades of leaving your money in there. It's going to go parabolic and you are going to make a lot of money from it. And almost as if by magic, people are going to be asking you how you've made so much money. But the key is really just keep doing the same things over and over again. And these small wins compound on each other over time and lead into one huge result at the end of things. So make sure to stack those daily wins, build that positive momentum, and all we have to do really is get slightly better every single day. We don't have to go from A to Z all in one step, and we don't have to, become a millionaire by tomorrow. We can do it in many incremental steps. There's no rush at the end of the day, and yeah, just carry out these small things on a day-to-day basis and just watch how they add up over time. So building profitability in trading comes from consistency, and this is consistency in following your trading plan, but also consistency in terms of what you are doing on a day-to-day and weekly basis. So some of the habits that we can implement in order to improve our trading and make more money in the markets, which is ultimately that end goal, is first of all, are you doing morning forecasts? And on Sundays, are you doing your weekly forecast for the week ahead? If not, you are basically setting yourself up for failure, because you're not going to know heading into the week your plan. You're not going to know what zones you're going to be looking at price to come into. You're not going to know your directional bias. All of these different things, they may seem insignificant, but trust me, they add up. And if you just do these things over and over again, you're not only going to be learning the price movements of the pairs that you trade, but it's difficult to explain, but you're going to develop this kind of intuition about where price is likely to head next. And the only way you can do that is by simply staring at it long enough and practicing over and over again on a daily basis. So every morning I mark up my charts, I mark up where I think price is likely heading, and I draw up a few particular zones where we could see price come into. And if price does come into that zone, I have an alert set, and then depending on the reaction to that zone, I'll either enter a trade according to my rules or I won't enter a trade. But the main thing is that if this happens, you're going to do this. If this happens, you're going to do that. And forecasting on Sundays and at the start of every single day just sets you up for success during the day, because exactly what you're going to be looking for, and it's not, it is pre-planned. There are no rushed decisions. Some other processes that I implement and I will continue to be implementing in 2025. Backtesting and refining your edge, a very key one. So many people I speak to do not have any data on their strategy. If you don't have any data on your strategy, you don't have a probability model, you don't know what your win rate is, you don't know your average risk to reward and all of these things. So how do you expect to be profitable in the market, at least long term? So the point of the backtesting is twofold. So one is to practice your strategy, to train your reticular activating system to see the setups playing out over and over again, developing that intuition that you need. And two is just to have the data there. This builds confidence in your strategy and also means that you aren't gambling, because you know that you do have an edge in the market. Other processes, weekly performance reviews and monthly performance reviews. So this is when I've talked about it before on the channel, but weekly ASR, monthly ASR, so advanced self-review, which is when you go back, you journal and review any of the trades you took. You review your psychology. What were your emotions like at the time? Did you make any mistakes? That sort of thing. And all of these can be done on a day-to-day and weekly basis, and they are actionable steps that you can take in order to improve your trading. I get asked all the time, how do I build a discipline in my trading? And the simple answer is that you just don't. There's no other way around it. You can't just build discipline in your trading. You build discipline in general. So this comes from building discipline in other aspects of your life. So if you work out or go running or do any sort of physical exercise or training, which I highly recommend if you are a trader. If you can't be disciplined with your training routine, and you can't hit the gym 5 times a week, or you can't go running when you plan to go running, you aren't going to be disciplined in your trading. It just doesn't work that way. You have to have this consistency in your general life and other aspects of your life, and then it's going to transfer over into your trading. So one of the key processes that we want to implement in 2025 to make sure that our trading gets better and that we are more disciplined in trading is just to build discipline around trading and in other aspects of our life. So working out, eating healthy, not drinking alcohol or limiting alcohol intake. All of these different things, like I said before, they compound either positively or negatively. So the key point here is that you don't just develop discipline in your trading, you develop discipline full stop, and then that transfers over into your trading. So the goal heading into 2025 is to set concrete goals of you're going to go to the gym X amount of times per week, or you're going to only eat whole foods, or you're going to eat a certain number of calories, whatever it may be. Set that concrete goal so you know what to aim for, and then follow that as much as you possibly can. And then that is going to have a massive impact on your trading results, and you are going to become a much more disciplined trader, which is ultimately the way to improve your trading and make more money in the markets. So how many times have you guys heard somebody with the goal that they want to become a millionaire, they want to make 10k per month, they want to achieve X amount of followers on Instagram, or any of these sort of goals? The problem with these goals is you're focusing too much on the outcome. So if you set the goal, for example, of making 10k per month, that's all well and good, but how are you actually going to get there? So understand that you're ahead of 99% of people if you switch this mindset and goal setting procedure from outcome oriented goals to procedure oriented goals, meaning that instead of setting the goal of making 10k per month, you would do something along the lines of setting the goal of, I'm going to learn about finance, I'm going to learn how to invest my money, I'm going to learn how to create a sales funnel for my business, I'm going to back test more to make more money in my trading, all of these sorts of things. But the point is, when you're setting these goals, try to make them as process oriented as possible, so that on a day-to-day basis you have actual actionable steps that you can follow. So key point here, focus on the processes, not the outcome, and the outcome will take care of itself as a result of following the processes. And similarly, one thing I think is very important is to do an audit of your surroundings and your environment. So who is adding value to your life? Who is filling it with negative energy? Who is saying that you're never going to be a profitable trader? Who is telling you it's unrealistic, all of these sorts of things? If they are telling you those sorts of things, then, maybe you shouldn't be around that type of person, because their energy, beliefs, habits are contagious. In a business setting, this is often referred to as divergence, which is that, one other way of putting this actually is that different companies, and especially big corporations, usually have what is called a company culture. So a company culture is essentially so when you walk into a corporation, for example, Apple, all of the employees that work there usually have the exact same mindset, belief systems, habits. And this is the concept of divergence, which is that when you're spending time with similar people, or people in general, they may be completely different to you right now, but when you spend time around those people, your energy, beliefs, and habits start to mimic theirs in order for you to fit in. But in the modern day, if you're spending time around people with negative beliefs, limiting beliefs, or people that don't believe that it is possible to make money online or to make money trading, then it's very hard for you to not have that belief yourself. So final tips to make 2025 a profitable and successful trading year is go through, learn one strategy and stick to it. Don't fall for this shiny object syndrome. There's always going to be a more enticing strategy, a better marketed strategy, a strategy claiming to make 1 to 100, a strategy claiming to have 100% win rate, whatever it may be. Don't fall for any of this rubbish. Just stick to the strategy which you are currently learning, or if you haven't started to learn one from somebody that you trust and has, an actual track record. Once you have learned this strategy, if it doesn't work straight away, don't give up on it. Backtest it, journal, do all of these things that we've mentioned previously in this video, and over time, this strategy will work for you. And remember that you are the asset, so invest it in yourself. If you don't currently have the correct knowledge and information about trading, invest in that first, and then just develop your skills as time goes on. Remove any timelines, because timelines are just going to hold you back. It's going to happen when it's supposed to happen and not a moment before. It doesn't have to happen this year, maybe next year, the year after. But the point is, if you put in these actionable steps day after day, it will eventually happen, whether it takes 1 year, 2 years, 6 months. It really depends on the person. But if you are putting in these actionable steps and you are, showing up day after day, you're holding yourself accountable, you're staying disciplined, it will eventually happen. So just keep going. Make sure to do these positive momentum building exercises, building positive habits, working out, eating healthy, reading books to train your mind, and limit alcohol intake as much as possible. Basically, just remove anything in your life which has a detrimental effect on your mindset and your ability to think with clarity and purposefulness. So do this and you will have more mental clarity than most people do. A little bit of a different video today, guys, with this PowerPoint style. So I hope you did manage to enjoy it. And if you did, make sure to keep me posted on future videos about how you're getting on, how any of these habits and processes have impacted your trading going into the new year. But if you guys did enjoy this type of video, make sure to drop a like below, and I will see you in the next video.